Welcome to 5 Minutes with Matt Srama from the Srama Group. So, Matt, professional athlete, real estate agent, and now buyer's agent. What's the thread between the three?
Oh, mate, I love a little bounce around, but it's funny. What I always think back to, Matty, was like each one has kind of led me into the next one. So what I mean by that is, like, when I was a professional athlete, I was sort of playing some good footy and then earning some money, and then I put that money into property. I wasn't blowing it at the nightclubs and whatnot. So what that allowed me is, I started getting interested in property and investing in property and that sort of stuff. And then what happened was I ended up retiring from rugby league as a professional athlete. And then logically, my mind just thought, I love the property thing. I'll become a real estate agent. Became a real estate agent, really enjoyed that, learned some good skills. And then when I was a real estate agent, I realized, I actually really enjoyed the buying side of property and working with buyers. I just felt there was a bit of a gap. There wasn't much representation for buyers. So then that led me into where I am now, working as a buyer's agent. So yeah, it's a funny, each one has literally led me to the next one.
So define a buyer's agent in your mind. What is it?
I think the simplest way to put it is, unlike a real estate agent who represents the seller, buyer's agents work exclusively for the buyer. So they'll essentially do all the heavy lifting, generally save them, time, stress, and money is the easiest way that we can add value to a buyer. But most of all, just, I guess, creating a fair playing field. A seller's got a rep, so does a buyer. The seller and buyer agents work together to really get a good outcome for everyone.
And the prospecting side of things, where do your leads come from? How does that happen?
Yep. So our business, we're really fortunate. Obviously, we stayed quite niche, just focusing on the Gold Coast. And for us, what that did was allowed us to get really good traction in terms of market, market share is probably a word to use. So what we started finding was because we stayed so niche, we started getting people inquire like, we're seeing you guys everywhere. A lot more respect was happening in the market. We got some good articles in the Gold Coast Bulletin and on Channel 9 and things like that. So a lot of our business started off literally organic and coming in. And then after we started doing a really good job, obviously word of mouth is number one, organic. Second is past client referrals. So someone uses us to buy. And then what we found was everyone's got another friend who's looking to move to the Gold Coast. And then third is real estate agents. We work closely with a lot of really good real estate agents across the Gold Coast. And they obviously see how we operate when it comes into the deal and realize how much easier we make their life and how much we can add value to them. So yeah, they're sort of our three key pillars of how we get our prospecting and business in.
So having now worked as an agent and worked as a buyer's agent, what do you see the biggest difference in mindset between the two occupations?
The biggest one I feel is around having more of an advisor touch. I think on the buyer's agent side, the selling side, what I really liked around that, there was a lot of really good, you had to put a good strategy in place. So marketing, being able to work buyers and really warm to buyers to get them to compete, running an auction campaign over 3 weeks. There was a lot of strategy, high level strategy, and then working with your vendor and stuff like that. What I found on the buyer side, you nearly become like their advisor in a way. And a lot of people are actually using our services. Yes, we save them time and stress and money and that, but a lot of it is that confidence that, hey, what they're doing is the right thing. And I find that a lot of people love leaning on a buyer's agent to say, hey, out of all the opportunities you showed us, we like X, Y, Z. The reasons are this, and then we can really provide them feedback based on what they need. So that was probably the big difference. We nearly like a support staff for them on the journey, rather than on the sales side. It was a lot of strategy, which was cool as well. So very different angles. But what it allowed me as a buyer's agent, I understand the seller side and how the agents are operating their business as well. So it's really good to have both angles.
So if I'm coming into the industry and I'm considering a career in advocacy like what you've developed, what skill set do I need to bring to the table?
Number one is definitely empathy and emotional IQ. I think that is number one, because what I found working on this side is you are their part, like you're partnering with them. You're not just engaging and going off and doing it. You're actually working with them and talking a lot to get feedback. And it's an emotional roller coaster buying property. So we predominantly work with owner occupiers. We have got a pool of investors. Obviously, we help as well. But what we find, it is a very emotional journey for people buying a house on the Gold Coast. So number one, if you don't have any emotional IQ about you, I think you'll really struggle, in all honesty. So that's number one and most important. And then the two key ones that sort of cherry on top is market knowledge. So because part of our role is to be able to evaluate property, give them current valuations, what it's worth, due diligence on the property. Why has this property sold for this and this property sold for that price, same street? We can provide, maybe as different aspect, the reno quality, the build quality, all those sorts of things play into it. So that's number two is the market knowledge. And then the third one is being able to build relationships, not transactions. So what I mean by that is, again, real estate agents are a big part of our business. I treat them like clients. Like, we really make an effort to get to know them and just do business with them, because at the end of the day, they're selling the property. If you've got bad relationships with agents, you cannot succeed as a buyer's agent.
So having those really good communication skills and as you say, understanding what the other side is looking for and having empathy that way as well.
Well, what I find the gun buyers agents, there's buyers agents who come from maybe a valuation background,
yep,
or real estate, or so they've got really good market knowledge, but then they might be lacking in emotional IQ and people skills. Yep. And then on the same other side, you've got someone who's so good with people, they trust it, but then when it comes to the market knowledge, they're a bit green and they're probably lacking that. I find if you can combine the two, that's what I feel the next generation of buyers agents have. They've got really good people skills, but they know their stuff in terms of the market they work in as well.
Awesome, Matt. Really appreciate your time. Thank you so much for spending 5 minutes with us.
No worries, Matty. Appreciate it.
Cheers, bud.